What's going on, guys? Today, we will be going over kind of a controversial subject that doesn't need to be controversial in the trading world. But first off, this is Vanquish Trading. My name is Mike,
I'm Andrew.
and today we are going to be asking and answering the age-old question of what moves the market?
Or who moves the
Who
market?
moves the market?
Who? What? I don't know. Let's find out
Yeah.
together. Let's ask. Let's answer. This is going to be a fun one. So, why does it even matter what moves the market? So, honestly, one of the biggest reasons why it matters is because as you're learning to trade, especially, you're doing all your research online. You're going to find a million different trading strategies. You're going to be learning trading strategies, trying different things. So many trading gurus, so many traders online push strategies that are based on the market being driven by a specific thing. If the market isn't actually driven by that specific thing, that completely invalidates whatever strategy this trader, this guru is pushing. So it matters what moves the market or who moves the market. That's why it matters.
For sure. And in my opinion, there are two main ideas or whatever that is in the mainstream of YouTube and all this shit that is not the truth, and it's not what real traders believe and understand about the market.
But it's the two main things that are pushed. It's the two main things that you're going to find if you go out and do a basic search, do some research. Even if you do a more thorough search, it's still going to be the two main things you find, unfortunately.
For sure.
When in all reality, it's not really what moves the market. And Mike and I definitely agree on what these two things are. And first one, I'll have them throw it up here. It's going to be an algorithm. It is so common that you see or that you find, people pushing that there's some kind of algorithm that's driving the market. You'll hear, oh, the algorithm took me out. The algorithm took out my stop loss. The algorithm is coming for my what?
Or the algo's algoing today, my strategy, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, like there's some algorithm that is specifically targeting any new strategy that you come up with, or an algorithm that's specifically targeting the retail trader community in order to, reap the rewards and all the benefits of, that are brought on by that retail trader community. So that you'll totally find that algorithm plastered all across the internet as far as this is what drives the market. The market's driven by an algorithm. And a huge reason for why people think the market's driven by an algorithm, a huge reason for that is because of, repeated patterns that people see in the market. That leads people to be like, oh, there's got to be an algorithm because there's repeated patterns. Otherwise, it could just be the repeated losses, as people continue to lose and lose. They're like, oh, there's got to be some kind of algorithm that's after me, or that's,
Yeah, there's got to be there's an algorithm that is designed so I cannot win, or there's an algorithm. Another big problem with that logic is when you take a loss and it's supposed to be within this strategy, but it's an algorithm. Why didn't it work? It's an algorithm. It must be crackable, right?
It's got to be.
So does some special guy that wrote the algorithm? Does he have the magic code? That's where
Well, I mean, I don't know if he wrote the
is.
algorithm, but he's got the magic code. We know that.
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
he claimed that he wrote the algorithm, which is interesting, but whatever.
Is,
and we're not going to dive into that, but
we don't need to. But the algorithm, it's a huge one. It's huge. You'll see it everywhere. It's not just him that pushes algorithm. You'll see it from countless gurus.
No,
people
for
pushing algorithm.
For sure.
There's not a specific thing out there trying to take you out. That's not how the market's designed. So
and
that's
the market isn't. There may be patterns that repeat.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where people say, "Oh, it's an algorithm," stuff like that. But it simply is not a big.
We'll dive into why there's repetition,
Yeah,
why there's
exactly.
repeated patterns. It's not because there's an algorithm. Are there repeated patterns? Absolutely. It's not because there's an algorithm.
No,
but we'll get into that
yeah.
later.
Exactly. But what's the next one, Andrew?
So we've got the algorithm, and then we've got, probably my favorite, the market makers. The market makers. Oh man, who are the market makers, Mike? Who are they? Who are these people that are making the market?
So
It's honestly pretty similar to the algorithm.
you'll hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, market makers came from my stop loss,
It's
XYZ."
just like the algorithm, dude. It's just like the
Exactly.
algorithm.
And really the idea there so in the actual buildup of the market, there is such thing as a market maker, but they have a very different job than driving the market. All that they do is ensure that there's liquidity in the market at all times. That is it. It is they are not these dark, ominous, scary figures working at a hedge fund that are targeting your stop loss and our stop loss on a
That's
day-to-day basis and hunting for retail liquidity. Retail liquidity makes up for 5% of the average trade volume in a given day.
that's nothing.
That is
That's so
nothing.
insignificant.
Yes, it is whales fighting whales. There is no such thing as one group or whatever targeting you or that run the market in general.
The biggest thing that these two things really kind of boil down to, and why they don't work, is both of them really subject you to essentially a victim mentality. You think there's some type of algorithm or some market maker that's targeting you. Somehow you're a target. Somehow they're coming for you, whether it's the algorithm or the the ominous market makers. Somebody's coming for you. Somebody's targeting you. When in all reality, you're not a target of anything. You just happen to be participating in the market.
This
You're
is
not a target
this
of
is
anything.
Warren Buffett, by the way, guys.
That dude, I see the resemblance. It looks just like him. It's crazy. It's incredible.
But yeah, it exactly to Andrew's point, both of these give the victim mentality and give a reason for losing and also make it hard for you to lose in general. I mean, especially with the algorithm. Like if it's an algorithm, it should be a repeatable thing that you can understand and break apart. But that is simply not true.
It's not. And again, there are patterns in the market. So it's not entirely illogical to assume that there's an algorithm. When you really sit down and dive into things, which we will, it's pretty obvious that there's not a set algorithm. But you can also see
And
how one could think that because of the repeated
for
patterns.
sure.
And you want to have some type of explanation, right? Your brain wants to be able to understand it. You want to have some type of explanation. So a logical explanation would be that there's an algorithm because that would make sense and that would make it easy and that would make it something that you can solve.
For sure. And just to clear things up, there are such thing as algorithms. There are trading algorithms,
Absolutely.
100% that execute manual trades. That's something that we can dive into in the future of how those work, etc. But for right now, we're trying to base this idea of an algorithm as one big code that runs the market.
Yeah, we're talking
Yeah.
about the driving force behind
Exactly.
the market, behind price action, essentially. We're talking about what moves price on a day-to-day basis.
For sure. So now let's get into what we believe and what is the truth behind what moves the market. And that has a very simple title, which is auction market theory. Now, myself and Andrew are not going to go into extreme detail on this today. We're going to give the most basic explanation and we
Super
will
broad overview,
for sure.
bird's eye view.
And we will dive into it deeper in the future and show the mechanics of the market as well as in how these orders work, etc. But for today, we are just going to focus on the absolute basics. So to get right into it, the absolute like bottom line description of what auction market theory is that every single thing that you're trading is an asset and it is up for sale and people are buying it and selling it constantly. It is a auction at all times that the market is open. And that is the bird's eye view.
Super basic definition.
For sure.
It is literally the words that you're reading on the screen. Auction market theory. It is the theory that the market is an auction. Pretty basic. What is an auction? An auction is buying and selling things. What do you need for an auction? You need a thing, an asset. You need a buyer, and you need a seller.
For sure. All right, so to make this easier, we're going to do some drawings and make it as simple as possible for you guys.
This guy loves his art. He really
That's
does.
right.
He's such an artist.
But we are going to make a
Set line
chart
straight.
right here.
This
Yeah,
straight enough.
looks pretty straight.
I think so. It doesn't from my
Yeah.
angle. It's me. It's a me problem, guys.
All right, so remember, we are trying to think of this as a auction, right? So we've got some cattle.
And sell some Wagyu cattle, some
Yep.
Wagyu beef cattle from Japan.
And these cattle right now are selling for $90 a cow, right?
Beautiful price, man.
And there's a lot of people that buy cattle. There's a lot of butchers, let's say. So we've got some butchers over here. We've got
Wow.
we've got some people that take those calves and raise them for slaughter. I don't know if people use Wagyu for milk, but there's some dairy farmers that buy them. There are some hobby farms that
Oh
buy
yeah.
them.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
There's huge corporations that buy them. Whatever.
I'm buying a couple.
Yeah. So we've got a massive group of buyers.
There's a lot
right?
of them, okay? He only drew 4, but
And
his hand was getting tired.
there's also a massive group of sellers as well that are raising these cattle and
All the cattle
breeding these
farmers.
cattle.
All
right.
the cattle farmers, those are our sellers.
Okay.
So now we have everything required for an auction. We have a buyer or multiple buyers, in this case, our lovely group of buyers over there. We have our seller, which is our cattle farmers.
Yep.
And we have our asset, which is our beautiful Wagyu beef cattle. You can see
Exactly.
over there, selling for $90. So now we have everything required for an auction.
For sure. So let's say a drought hit and they weren't able to have enough water or there wasn't enough food to be able to sustain this cattle population.
Some of the calves
Exactly.
didn't make it. Some
So,
of them didn't make it.
let's
We've
say
got a
it
lower yield.
decreased. And there are a lot of people that still need cattle.
Same amount of buyers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We got less cattle now.
So guess what? That price is going to go up. Now, instead of $90, that price is $110 now.
Ooh.
Because there's still that demand, that need for these cattle.
Remember, same amount of buyers. Everybody still wants their Wagyu beef cattle. Same amount of buyers, same amount of sellers, but we don't have the same amount of beef to go around.
Exactly.
There's not the same amount of cattle. So what happens? We got a higher price.
That
Supply and
price
demand.
raised.
It's supply
Because
and demand,
more
folks.
there are more buyers in this market, right? And then let's say that there is just an amazing year or another player comes on the field that is producing
A new
even
cattle
more
farm.
cattle, and all of a sudden it drops that price down
There's-
to $60.
It's twice as many cattle now.
Yeah.
Same amount of buyers, but now there's twice as many cattle, let's say.
And that price drops down to 60.
So
So
wait a minute.
down at this price, people are thinking these dairy farmers that use cattle that can hold on to them for a long time, they're thinking this is an amazing price. We're all going to buy right now. $60 is crazy. They were $90 2 years ago.
Everybody wants cattle now. Now
Exactly.
we got buyers coming out of everywhere. Everybody wants cattle.
Everyone wants
want-
cattle at this price at $60. It is cheap. Everybody's going to
I'm buying
buy
5
it.
more now.
And the people that end up buying it, well, they could also sell it at a higher price now. But this is just a very almost, it's like a
Very rudimentary.
very rudimentary way of explaining it. But the market is an auction. In this, you see a chart. So what's happening at this $90 price point? Let's pretend that this is NQ now. What's happening at this $90 price point is people still think that it is a good price to buy NQ at $90, right, Andrew?
Absolutely. So we're
And it-
buying it.
Pushed up to 110. Well, now all of a sudden, those buyers that are in the market, they need to make a profit and they need to get rid of those cattle. Right, Andrew?
That's the goal, right? We're trying to
Exactly.
make money here.
Exactly. So if they get rid of those cattle, they start selling, and all of a sudden, $110 might be a little much to buy for a calf.
Yeah, I don't know if I really feel like paying that.
Exactly.
What
And
happens when everybody starts to feel like, yeah, nah, I don't know if we want to keep paying that much? That's
yeah,
when we start to see price slow down, stop going up. So we see, in this case, our cattle stop
and
at $110 or NQ. Let's say it's NQ
yep,
stops.
and it'll drive prices lower. And then it's just this repeatable thing, this ebb and flow, this harmony of buyers and sellers. And all that matters at the current time is who is in control. Is it a price where more people want to sell at, or is it a price where more people want to buy it?
Yeah, because we come down here. As we come down here, more and more people want to buy. More and more people want to buy. It gets down to $60. Everybody wants to buy. As more people buy, now there's less
For
supply.
sure.
So now we're coming back up here. As price gets higher, people are going to get more and more hesitant again, right? Because, whoa, wait a minute, we were just paying $60 for this calf. Now we're back up at 90. I don't know. I don't know if I want to. It's an endless cycle. It's an auction.
Exactly. And to go back to how we were talking about the algorithm earlier and patterns, things like that, that's why there are these patterns. You are literally every day competing against a huge group of humans
The
that,
pattern is human psychology.
yeah,
That's literally all you're looking at
and
is
they
human
are
psychology on a chart.
sitting here buying and selling cattle at what they think are good prices to buy and sell at. So let's take a look at a chart and just see this exact same thing that I am showing you guys right now. So we will go to the previous market open, which would be the 16th. It's just a chart. We're just looking at cattle right now, right? So let's take this area of price action, for example. So people can say this is support and resistance. It is support and resistance at the end of the day. They're just levels. They're just numbers on the chart over here that people think are good areas to buy and good areas to sell. So, for example, we've got, hold on 1 second, this area right here at 575. People thought that this was a high price. A big group of people thought that this was a high price, and they pushed it down. And they bought it back up a little bit, but sellers are still in control. It's still kind of a high
Still
price.
a little too high. We're gonna
They're
keep
still
going
in
down.
control. They keep
Essentially,
going down.
what's happening is we're finding a price that people are willing to pay. That's
Yep.
all that's happening at all times in the market is we are constantly searching for a price that people are willing to pay.
The new auction price where buyers and sellers can transact back and forth in a happy harmony.
That's all this is.
That's
It's a
exactly what's
constant
happening
auction.
here. So we push down and then we go back and retest this to retest those levels to see if the buyers are there and the market wants to go higher.
Are people willing to pay this price?
Exactly.
Essentially, that's all we're doing.
Exactly.
We're saying, are people willing to price? We can see obviously that people are not willing to pay this price as price continues to move downward from this point. So at this point in time, people were not willing to pay that price for NQ
Again,
or cattle, whatever it is.
we look at this and we try to find our drawing from earlier up here,
Look at those little guys.
and it's all the same stuff. It's just buyers and sellers constantly trying to find that price that makes sense that they both want to transact at. That is it. It's nothing crazy like
No
a
algorithm,
scary market
no
maker
market maker, no,
that's hunting your stop loss. So I want you guys to just kind of let that sink in. We'll dive in more of how the actual technicals behind the scenes work with orders.
Right. Again, this is
etc.
incredibly basic. This is a super basic overview. Just telling you guys, hey, It's not an algorithm. It's not market makers. It's literally just people buying and selling things and trying to agree on a price.
Yep. But
Welcome to auction market theory.
I hope this helps in some way, shape, or form if you believed otherwise or didn't quite understand or had an easy way to define how the market works. But this is it right here. So take a screenshot of this, look at it, fall asleep to it. We'll even smile for you.
We will.
So you can put that as your screensaver.
Hope you love it. Hope you guys enjoy
This is
it.
some beautiful drawing, but
It is. You know, he's a very artistic guy.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I'll do some drawings for you guys. I'm not quite ready. I don't share his artistic ability.
Yeah.
But
all right.
we'll see. But
Well, in the future, again, we will dive into technicals, but I appreciate you guys watching. If you stuck around to the end, have a great week. Have a great night.
thank you guys.
Talk to you guys later.
Vanquish Trading Company out.
Peace.
Peace out.